take a 20-minute break. And but before we do that, I would like to recognize Madame Kizembo. Because of one of our great intellectuals, African intellectuals, there will be some activities on the parallel sessions in honor of the great African thinker. Thank you. Welcome, Madam. Yeah. So we will have 20 minutes for break for tea, and as you go out, there are some exhibitions of books and art and so forth. Please take note. Thank you.
Heel veel infosheets en achteraf ook niet.
Ja, er staat ook wel iets over. Ja. Mensen zijn vooral geïnteresseerd ook in die aandachtspunten.
Il y a des migrations qui conduisent à la construction de notre.
So we have few publications on migration. This is 2011, I think.
But is Shahida around?
Yes, but...
Are you gonna see it?
Yes, I'm
Should I give
near her.
you...
Yes,
Let me
please.
give you, because I prepared something for her.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you can pass it.
Prefiere ir con alguien, si hay alguna persona lo sabe.
Let's say
Because I don't know.
9 or 10 US dollars, about, because it's less than the US, something like that. I'm not a genius in mathematics.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We are continuing with the last lap of our session this morning with more goodwill messages from some of our partners. Bernard, Professor Nchala, if you can call our spokespeople to give goodwill messages. Thank you.
Merci. Alors, nous continuons avec les messages de solidarité. Je voudrais inviter le professeur Rahman Broki pour les comptes de l'Arab Social Science Council.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Arab Council of Social Sciences, I would like to congratulate CODESRIA, this council that I have the honor of being the chairwoman of the board. And I would like to congratulate CODESRIA for this wonderful assembly and for its achievements in promoting research, encouraging researchers, and for its commitment, to knowledge. And CODESRIA has become, for many organizations, an organization of reference in promoting research in social sciences and thinking about crucial issues that are facing African countries. And the role of CODESRIA is becoming more important, especially that these countries are facing many challenges and going through transitional phases in terms of demography, democracy, and cultural also transitions. I would like to thank very much the Executive Secretariat every month and the President for inviting me for this opening ceremony to say a few words about the Arab Council of Social Sciences. Arab Council of Social Sciences is the outcome of a reflection of 2 years. Took a group of researchers from the Arab countries 2 years to think about the state of the art in this region in terms of social sciences. And the outcome was that it's necessary, to have a structural, or let's say an institution, that will think and focus about social sciences in Arab countries. Of course, here we are meeting the objectives of the CODESRIA, and we will certainly benefit from the experience of CODESRIA because we share the same objectives, the same values, but with the specificity of concentrating on Arab societies that goes beyond, geographically beyond Africa. Of course, I think the location of the social Arab, the Arab Council of Social Sciences is located in Beirut. We had our first assembly in December 2008 in Cairo, and this decision was to locate the office, the headquarters in Beirut. Of course, with the in the future, to have some antennas in other countries, if it's possible. So thanks to the funding of the SIDA, the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, that could fund, our founding phase, like having an acting director, our meetings, our first assembly, the website that will be launched in the next week, and preparing for the next assembly in spring. So I would like to take this opportunity, to thank them, to thank, SIDA. The underlying activities now are, we are in the process of setting, of course, an executive for selection of an executive director, preparing, for the next assembly, and we would like, of course, that CODESRIA would be, honor this assembly in spring. So I'm here to stress the fact that CODESRIA, with its experience, long experience, could be our partner. And we rely on you, to support this, let's say, young sister organization, which is the Arab Council of Social Sciences. And thank you.
Merci, professeur. J'ai invité les représentants de Austria. Austria. Ok. Sur la liste, nous avons maintenant les CAS. Les CAS, nos collègues de la Chine. Je crois qu'ils ne sont pas encore arrivés. Austria? You are here? Okay, so please come. So, Austria.
On behalf of Austria and myself, I would like to congratulate CODESRIA for its achievement and unrelenting effort to promote social science research in our continent. Austria, the name Austria refers to Organization for Social Science Research in Eastern and Southern Africa. We share the same objectives and the same values. Austria has the objective of promoting African research tradition in social sciences and humanities. It tries also to bridge the gap between social science research and policy in Africa. Our focus, however, is in Eastern and Southern Africa. Our activities include working research on social sciences, building the capacity of African social scientists, especially young scholars, and helping African universities to fast-track their PhD programs. So on this forum, once again, I would like to congratulate CODESRIA for reaching at this stage. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. May I invite now, if they are here, our colleague from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Chinese Academy of Social Sciences? Okay, they are coming.
Thank you very much. And we are here, our Chinese delegation are 3 people. I'm from Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, and our 2 other colleagues from Beijing Foreign Languages and Zhejiang Normal Universities. And thank you very much for inviting us here, and we warmly congratulate this conference to be held in Morocco. You know, China and Africa, we have long history and good friendship. And Sino-African relations also have about more than 2,000 years history. And today, when we entered the new century, the FOCAC formed, and the Sino-African relations developed very fast. We Chinese always the friends of African people. We come here with you, and I want to use the football, last year's football cup in South Africa, and we are here together with Africa. We win with Africa, and we'll success here in Africa. Thank you, and congratulations.
Many thanks for the congratulations. May I invite our colleagues from Aegis? Aegis? Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Paul Nugent. I'm the president of Aegis. I'd very much like to thank the Executive Secretary, Ibrahim Salah, for the invitation to be here, and obviously send our on behalf of the Aegis Board, convey our fraternal and sisterly greetings to all the delegates attending this conference. This is actually the first time that Aegis has been formally represented at a CODESRIA event, and I think that is for us a milestone, and I'm very pleased, and my colleagues are very pleased, to be here. As soon as we were invited, we immediately hit the send button to say, of course, we will by all means be present. For those of you who don't know Aegis, Aegis is, in effect, an association of African studies in Europe. It's Europe-based. It consists of member centres rather than individual members. Currently we have 30 member centres, so we've been growing very rapidly. The activities of Aegis are varied, but most important of these is our biannual conference. The last one was in Uppsala this year. The next one will be in Lisbon in 2013. And we were especially pleased that Ibrahim Sal was able to join us for the Uppsala meeting and to participate in a roundtable on the subject of decolonizing African studies, which was a very successful event, I think. Our previous speaker referred to China as always having been the friends of African people. One can't always say that about the relationship between Europe and Africa, if we're being honest about it. But I think recognizing that that historical relationship is an awkward one, it's a very good starting point for building a two-way relationship, I think. Our participation in this conference is very important to us. Ibrahim mentioned right at the start that it is, well, implied that it's rather odd to hold conferences on Africa, not on African soil, and of course, from the point of view of Aegis, it is important for us to be here, but also to participate in other activities in Africa. The annual conferences are our key major events. Obviously, these events are, for CODESRIA, the major activity in the calendar. But we would like, as Aegis, to build a collaborative relationship built on other things rather than just meeting once every 2 years. We would like, in particular, to build on common research agendas. Within Aegis, we are presently reinventing ourselves by establishing collaborative research groups, which will work, as it were, underneath the structures that already exist, bringing together people who have shared interests. At the moment, we have 3 up and running, one on history, one on conflict, we have one on the Indian Ocean about to be established. And I think the relevance of this for CODESRIA members is that this is not exclusive. It is not exclusive to Aegis member centres or people who are in Aegis member centres. It is intended to be groups. It's intended to be, as it were, global. Anybody can be part of these networks, and we very much like to build relationships based on that. The second thing is developing joint doctoral training programs. I'm aware the Aegis board is aware that CODESRIA is already involved in this activity. And all I would like to say on that is that many Aegis centres have a particular interest in this and would be very, very happy in the future to participate in developing programs for joint doctoral supervision and training on African soil. Again, I would emphasize. So finally, on behalf of Aegis, let me wish you all an exciting conference and all the best for the next 5 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going now to ask you to our colleague from the International Council for Social Science Research. International Council for Social Science Research. May they not here, they are coming. And finally, for today, for this moment, CLACSO, Centre Leodean is here because, yes, Leodean should come in. Claxo, every Saturday is arriving this afternoon. Okay, yes. Okay. Leodean, yeah. Yes.
Seem to represent quite a few organizations. Thank you, President of CODESRIA and Executive Secretary of CODESRIA, to invite me to speak on behalf of ERD, the European Association of Development Institutes. in my capacity as rector of the International Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, in the Netherlands. So let me first congratulate you all with this fantastic conference, already the 13th General Assembly in a row. I think that is proof of CODESRIA's strengths, both scientifically, academically, but also organizationally and logistically. And I think that is worthwhile, and congratulations. My institute, ISS, in The Hague, over 60 years already, we train students from the global south, and we do research in more than 30 countries in the world. We train students from 50 countries. My staff comes from some 20 countries in the world, all on international development, social justice, and equity. We have 10,000 alumni in the world, and we closely collaborate with networks in Latin America, in Africa, and in Asia. We are a leading member of ERD, the European Association of Development Institutes, organizing some 50 development institutes in Europe and a few hundreds of individual scholars, being already a partner for CODESRIA for a very long time. Now, next to building networks for teaching and education, I think also ERD opens, together with CODESRIA, opportunities for increased funding for research and for the training of researchers, since networks is these days the kind of facilitator you need to tackle global issues in development. And indeed, networks, we're trying to create innovative networks of knowledge, addressing problems not only from a scientific view, but trying to add value by creating circles of knowledge between academics, practitioners, politicians, etc. Last week, I had the honor to host at my institute, the ISS, President Touré of Mali. He spoke to my students on his experiences in democratization and good governance in Africa. And he stressed that also policies need to innovate. And as we think about innovations, it's not only about innovations in productive sectors, but also about innovations in policies, in practice of policies. And so also CODESRIA, I think, together I hope with other networks like ERD, with ISS, will be able to constitute these networks and to find ways forward with respect to global issues of international development, social justice and equity. So, Mr. President and Executive Secretary, I very much would like this conference to be fruitful also in that respect. In the course of the conference, I hope we'll have the opportunity to discuss further this innovative network of knowledge encompassing the world. I congratulate CODESRIA with this fantastic conference, and I reassure ERD's and ISS cooperation with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We now have come to the end of the indoor session. We have a short 10-minute session outside to inaugurate the book fair before we go for lunch. So if you can find your way just across the entrance, just a short formal inauguration of the book fair. And on that note, the session is closed. Thank you very much. See you at 2:30 this afternoon.
S'il vous plaît, veuillez déposer les casques en sortant, s'il vous plaît. C'est extrêmement important. Ensuite, pour cet après-midi, nous voudrions vous informer que le programme qui a été jusque-là distribué a subi des petites modifications, mais pas pour la journée d'aujourd'hui. À partir de la journée de demain, nous allons avoir un programme légèrement modifié et qui va vous être distribué probablement à la fin de la journée. Donc, nous allons nécessairement faire en sorte que nous puissions avoir ce nouveau programme. Bon appétit et à cet après-midi.